Premanande. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, our Lord and Master Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Sundar Radha Kundan Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shrimati Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrindamai Ki Jai. Shri Ganga Yamuna Saraswati Ki Jai. Shri Navati Dham Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Pur Nilachal Kshetra Ki Jai. Shri Mathura Dham, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Holy Name Mahamantra, Shri Harinam Maha Sankirtan Ki Jai. Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Sai. जय, रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, प्रेम से गौ श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class will be on the 7th canto, chapter 6, verse 2, recorded on the 18th of June 1976 in Toronto. So that's the 7th canto, chapter 6, verse 2, recorded 18th of June 1976 in Toronto. Hare Krishna.
Translation. The human form of life affords one a chance to return home, back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially in the human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This devotional service is natural, because Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the most beloved, the master of the soul, and the well-wisher of all other living beings.
जता ही पुरुषस्य इह विष्णुपादोपसर्पणम् जदेशा सर्वभूतानां प्रिय आत्मेश्वर श्री Bhagavad Dharma, yesterday we discussed Dharman Bhagavataniha Kaumaranacharit Pragya Dharman Bhagavata. From the beginning of life, from childhood, they should be given lessons on Bhagavad Dharma. The Bhagavad Dharma is very clearly indicated in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita should be read very carefully, attentively, from the beginning of life, child. Not that Bhagavad Gita should be read in old age. No, from the very beginning of life. And whole Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavad. And when one is well conversant in the Bhagavad Gita, the lessons of Bhagavad Gita, then the Srimad Bhagavatam begins. So Bhagavad Dharma means, as we have discussed yesterday morning, that Krishna himself is explaining Bhagavad Dharma. Manmana bhava mad bhakta madhyariman namaskuru mavi voices. The aim and real aim of life is how to go back to home, back to Godhead. They do not know it. Nati vidu. Generally, people do not know what is the aim of life. Nati vidu sarthagatim hi Vishnu. All the Vedic mantra says, the Rigved mantra says, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. That is it. Everyone must meditate upon Lord Vishnu. Meditation means to think of Lord Vishnu within the heart. I think we have seen many pictures that Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Nirdesha Arjuna Tisthati, the Supreme Lord is sitting in everyone's heart, and that Lord's Murti form is Vishnu Murti. The dhyana, yoga, all this means to concentrate the mind in Vishnu Murti. Dhyanavasthita tadgatena manusa pasantiyam yogino. Yogi, what is that business? Dhyanavasthita tadgatena manusa, concentrating the mind, meditating upon the Vishnu Murti. Nowadays they have invented some system of yoga, some light, something like that. But that is not the Shastric injunction. Shastric injunction is to think of Lord Vishnu within the heart. He is already there. We have to search out. That is called meditation. That is called dhyana. But in this Kali Yuga, it is little difficult. Why little? It is very, very difficult to sit down in one place and meditate upon Lord Vishnu within the heart. Not only sit down in one place, it is recommended that we should sit down in a sacred place and in a secluded place. Not that it is a fashion. Some hundreds of men sitting together and meditating. What meditating? That is not the process. You'll find in the Bhagavad Gita, it is recommended to sit down in a sacred and secluded place. That is called dhyana. And sitting in a right angle posture and the eyes half closed, not fully closed. If you fully close, then you will sleep. I have seen so many yogis snoring. Sleeping, yes. Then naturally, if you close your eyes and you have no subject matter to think, what will be? You will sleep, that's all. That is not yoga system. You have to sit down in a secluded place, in a, what is called, yogasana, straight body, and not sleeping, up, open eyes, and looking over the tip of the nose. There are so many methods. That is called meditation. But this kind of meditation is very, very difficult in this age. If one can perform, it is welcome, but it is very difficult. In the Kali Yuga, if I sit down to meditate upon, then I shall think of my family, my business, my friend, so many things. It is not possible. Therefore, Shastra recommend Kite jadhayatu Vishnu tetayang jajato makhai dapare parisanjayam kalu tad harikirtana. In the Krite means Satyaju, when people used to live for 100,000 of years. That time it was possible, just like Valmiki Muni meditated for 60,000 of years. So actually this meditation, dhyan, dharana, pranayama, pratyahara, the yogic system, that is recommended in the Shastra, the Bhagavad Gita also is there. But in this age it is not possible. Even Arjuna denied. Krishna, you are recommending me to undergo the process of yoga, but it is not possible. Tasyam nigraham mani vayuri vasudhiskam. It is not possible. But Arjuna was a pure devotee. He was always thinking of Krishna. He had no other business. Therefore, Krishna, to encourage Arjuna, he said that don't be disappointed because you are thinking that you are unfit to meditate upon Lord Krishna. Don't be disappointed. The first class yogi, you are first class yogi. Why? Because yoginam api sarvesam madgata antaratmana sadhyavan bhajati jumang sami yuktatamo. Anyone who is thinking of Krishna always within the heart, he is first class yogi. Therefore, kalu tad harikirtana, this is first class yoga system. In this age, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended, in the Shastra also, it is recommended that Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalu nasti, nasti, nasti. So we have to follow the injunction of the Shastra. We cannot manufacture our own ways of spiritual advancement. That is not right. Jasastra vidhimusijja bhattate kamakara na siddhing savapnati na sukhang na paragati. Anyone who transgresses the regulative principle recommended in the Shastra, Shastra vidhi, jasastra vidhim usijja, giving up Shastra vidhi, bhattate kamakara. Whimsically does something. Na siddhing savapnati, he never gets success. He will never be successful. Na siddhing, na parangati, neither any salvation. Na siddhing savapnati, na sukha, neither even any material happiness. So, we must accept the Shastra vidhi. Shastra vidhi, as it is in the Shastra, it is said, I have already quoted, Kalo tad harikirtana, kite jadhayatu Vishnu tetayam jagatho makai, dapare parisanjayam, kalo tad harikirtana. In this age, the Shastra vidhi is harikirtana. The more you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the more you become perfect. This is Shastra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed it. Sadhu Shastra Guru Bhakti. We have to be fixed up. First of all, what is the injunction of the Shastra? Then, what the sadhus, those who are devotees, what they are doing. What they are doing. Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. And what Guru is asking. We have to follow these three principles. Sadhu, Guru, Shastra, Vakya, Trinete Koriya Vaika. Who is sadhu? Who is abiding by the injunction of the Shastra. Or Guru. Guru means he is also abiding by the injunction of the Shastra. then he is guru, he is sadhu. And if one shastra vidhi, the shastra vidhi musijya, if shastra vidhi you give up, then what is the question of guru and sadhu? Not siddhi, he is not siddha. He has not attained the perfection because he has rejected the principles of shastra. So he is bogus. We have to test like that. He is guru. Tasmad gurum prapaddita jigyasu shreya uttamam shabde pareta nisnatam brahmani upasamasayam. The Shastra says, who is Guru? Tasmad gurum prapaddeta. One has to surrender to Guru. That is, tad vijnanatham sa gurumeva avigacche. One must approach Guru. This is beginning. Not that it is optional. I may accept the Guru or not accept Guru. No, must. Gachet. Gachet means he must. It is beginning. This verb used where the purport is one must. Otherwise it is not possible. The Tasmad Gurum Prapaddeta, and who will go to Guru? It is not a fashion that we make some Guru and we are engaged in our own business and I can say in the society, I have got a big Guru who can show magic. No. Guru is necessary for him who is inquisitive of transcendental subject matter. He requires a Guru, not ordinary man. Just like somebody keeps some cats and dogs as fashion. Guru is not like that. Guru means one, first of all, who requires a Guru. Tasmad gurum prapaddeta jigyasu shreya uttamam. One who is inquisitive to know about the spiritual world. Uttamam. Uttamam means udgata tamam. Transcendental to this darkness. This material world is called darkness, ignorance. Actually it is dark. Because it is dark, material world, therefore we require the sun. By the grace of Krishna, we have got the sun. Jat chakshuresha savita sakala grahana. He is the light of all the planets. Jat chakshuresha savita. Savita means sun. Om tad Om bhur bhuva sa tat saviti varannam. This is Gayatri mantra. So, who requires a guru? Jigyasu shreya uttamam. One who wants to go beyond this world of darkness. Tamasi ma jyotidgama. This is Vedic injunction. Don't remain in this darkness. Jyotidgama. Go to the world where light is there. Jasya prabha prabhavatu jagadanda koti. Kotishu asesha vasudhati juhuti vindam. Tad brahma nishkalam anantam asesha bhutam. Govindamadi purusam. Jasya prabha, the spiritual world is full of effulgence. Just like we have got example. The sun planet, sun globe, there is no darkness. There is always light. On account of presence of the sun, we are getting so much light and heat. Just imagine what is the position in the sun globe, sun planet. It is always light. This is the example. Similarly, in the spiritual world, it is only light. Not only this light, but the light of knowledge. Therefore Shastra says, tamasima, don't remain in the darkness, jyotidgama. Jyotidgama. come into the light. So one who requires to go to the world of light, he requires a guru. Tasmad gurum prapaddeta jigyasu. Jigyasu inquisitive. Everyone is jigyasu. We go to the market to purchase something, we are also jigyasu there. What is the price of this? What is the price of that? That is also inquiry. But not inquiry not like that. As we go to the market and inquire about the price, or sometimes we go to the share market and other material markets, there is also inquiry is in line. But not material inquiry. Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. Shreya means ultimate goal of life. In the material world, there is no question of Shreya, it is all prayer. There are two things, prayer and Shreya. Immediate benefit, that is called prayer. Just like child. If you ask child to sit down and read book, he would not like. If you offer a laddu, he will immediately accept. A small child, you see, we have said, we distribute these cakes, and immediately, small child immediately he knows how to take it and put it in the mouth. This is called prayer, dear. They do not know anything else. If we give you poison, you like to eat. This is child's nature. So if you ask the child now, you sit down and read books and write, he would not like. That is called the Shreya. To become educated is good for him for future, but he doesn't like. But if you give him a laddu, immediately he will accept. This is the distinction between Shreya and prayer. So, we must be interested in Shreya, not prayer. Prayer is sense gratification. The material life, sense gratification is only required. This is material world. Janamaithunadi grihamedi sukham mitucham. This Shreya, this prayer, very dear things, ultimately sex life, maithunadi. Married, there is sex life. Then he gets some children, then he again grandson, and all. The Janamaithunadi, here the happiness is centered around that sex life. Kandvani nakarayo liva dukkha dukkham. And as soon as we enter into sex life, liva dukkha dukkham, one after another, one after another, one after another. So this is prayer. But Shreya is how to approach the lotus feet and Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Therefore here it is said, Jatahi Purusasraya Vishnu Padatmasam. How to be engaged in the worship of the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. That is possible. This Shreya means sense gratification culminating in sex life. That is available. That will be explained in the next verse. Sukham aindriyakam daitya deho yogena dehina sarvatra labhati daiva yatha dukkham bhajatnata. This will be explained. So aindraja sukham, sense pleasure, that is available everywhere. Even cats and dogs, they have got sense pleasure. But human life is not meant for that purpose. Human life is meant for, this is the idea, Jathahi Purusasya Vishnu Pada Upasarpana. This is required. They do not know it. Prahlad Maharaj, another place said, Nate vidu sarthavating Vishnu durasayaji mahirathamanina. Generally, those who are not trained up by Guru, they do not know the Sarthagati is Vishnu, Durasaya. They are trying to be happy with this external energy. Bahiranga Shakti. Bahiranga Shakti means this material world. So, one who does not know what is the goal of life, they are interested in this Bahiranga Shakti, external energy. Therefore Guru required. How to get him delivered from the clutches of external energy. Therefore Guru required. One who is interested to get out of these activities of external energy, tasmad gurum prapaddeta. For him Guru is required. Don't make a Guru as a passion. That is useless. Then you get some Guru who can manufacture gold and you are interested in gold. So that kind of Guru will be. No. Here it is said, tasmad gurum prapaddeta tadvijnanatham sagu. Tadvijnan means spiritual science. For that purpose one requires Guru, not for any other purpose. So, Arjuna also showed by example, although he was talking as friend, he submitted to Krishna, the Sishasti Hanusadiman Prabandam. Arjuna was talking directly with Krishna, but because the relationship was as affectionate friendship, there could not be any serious talk. Therefore, Arjuna submitted that Krishna, we are talking like friends, it will never come to any serious. Now I accept you as my Guru. Shishyasti ham sadimang prapannam katpanna doso apahata sabhav. I am now perplexed. So when one is actually in knowledge, he feels perplexed. Atata brahma jigyasa. Unless one feels perplexed in this materialistic way of life, his human life is imperfect. One must feel that this material world, actually it is not happiness. Just like Sanatana Goswami approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Gramma Vyavahare Kahoy Pandit, Sattva Kari Mane. I am minister, I am also born of a Brahmin family in India. The Brahmins are addressed as Panditji. So he said, Gramma Vyavahare Kahoy Pandit. It's just like ordinary relationship, village, friendship. They call me Pandit. Pandit means learned. I also accept that I am Pandit. But actually I am not Pandit. Why not? Apunar hitahet kichu nahi jani. I do not know what is the goal of my life. Ask anyone what is the goal of life. He may be PhD, DSc, he does not know. Nothing vidu sarthagating Vishnu. They do not know. Therefore, if one is serious about understanding the value of life, the goal of life, he should approach a Guru. Tasmad Gurum Prapaddeta. Prapaddeta. Prapaddeta means to surrender. Not that Guru should be approached for challenging. No. If you challenge, then you will be cheated. First of all, you must find out a person who, if you can surrender them. Tasmad Gurum Prapaddeta. Tadvidhi Panipate. Panipat. Surrender. That is required first. If you think somebody that he is not worth surrendering, then don't make him Guru. Don't make a fashion. First of all, you test that whether I can surrender. Panipatena. Then try to understand. Tadvidhi panipatena, pariprasnena, sevaya. Not only surrendering, but also render service so that Guru may be pleased that this disciple is very humble with me and giving service anywhere. Even in the material world, if you want to take something from somebody, if you please him by service, it is very easy. Tasmat gurum prapaddeta jigyasam. So, Jathahi purusasya Vishnu padu pusatpanam jadesha sarvabhuta. Why one should seek after Vishnu? That Vishnu paramam padam. Because jadesha sarvabhutana priyo. Everyone's dearest. That we have forgotten. Actually, Vishnu or Krishna, he is dearmost. He is also friend of everyone. When we understand this secret, Bhoktaram Jagatamasam Sarvaloka Maheswaram Sridam Sarvabhutana. Sridam, he is actual friend. We go to friends for some help, but if we accept the natural friend, Krishna, then there is no scarcity. Sridam Sarvabhutana. Therefore, we should learn how to love Krishna or Vishnu. That is the aim of life. Thank you very much. Sanatana.
Om Gyanatimayandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutaye Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Sunyati Prasyatya Satarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hey, thank you. We heard a nice class today by Srila Prabhupada. So the verse is 762 from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It starts with Yata hi purapashyeya Vishnu pado parasa panam Yada esha sarva bhutanam Priya atmeshvara shurit. So this is 762. And the translation is, the human form of life affords one a chance to return home back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially in the human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, is the most beloved, the master of the soul, and the well-wisher of all living beings. So first of all, I'd like to ask if there's anything actually stood out to anyone today in today's class, or if there's any reflections that anyone has from today's class. Yes, Srinivas Prabhu.
Prabhupada was saying in the class about meditation. Kadama Kanan Maharaj, in one of his lectures on the holy name, he was explaining how in previous times, even chanting the holy name, the benefit would come after a long time. But because of Lord Chaitanya's coming, the benefit is very, very quickly achieved now.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So in the lecture, Srila Prabhupada, he started off by actually explaining about the previous verse. So it says, from the beginning of life, from childhood, about children should be given lessons in Bhagavad Dharma. And he said that this is actually very clearly indicated in the Bhagavad Gita. So the point is that what should children know about, or what should we all know about from early in life? Yes, but what's the main? Well, what is that in that sense? What's the main? Yeah. 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 So we have to. So we'll know the goal of life. Yeah. And then Srila Prabhupada, he quotes a verse. If you can remember, chapter 18 from the Bhagavad Gita. Yes. So, man mana bhava mad bhakto mad maji nam mam namaskaru. So, the real aim of life is how to go back home, back to Godhead. So, that's generally, he says, the people, they do not know this. So the Rig Veda mantra says, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. So this is in terms of the beginning, that everyone should actually meditate upon Lord Vishnu. And Srila Prabhupada speaks about the yogis, and that meditation means to actually meditate upon Vishnu in the heart. So Srila Prabhupada quotes a verse also from the Bhagavad Gita 1861, which is Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam, so that Krishna is already within the heart. And what he calls the Lord's Murti is Vishnu Murti. So he also names a certain type of system of meditation. I'm not sure if you can remember which it is. Yes, Srinivas. Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. So he mentions Jnana Yoga, so which means to actually meditate upon Vishnu. So this is the actual the process in different ages, and what the actual the yogis will try do. So then Sri Prabhupada quotes a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 13, Text 1, which translates as, Suta Goswami said, unto that personality whom Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and the Maruts praise by chanting transcendental hymns and reciting the Vedas with all their corollaries, Padakramas and Upanishads, to whom the chanters of the Samaveda always sing, whom the perfected yogis see within their minds after fixing themselves in trance and absorbing themselves within him, and whose limit can never be found by any demigod or demon, unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my humble obeisances. So Srila Prabhupada goes on to mention that in terms of these actual types of meditation which the yogis do, in Kali Yuga it's very difficult. And in terms of trying to actually carry out that, he mentions that we have to actually, be in, a secluded place. It's a whole different process, which is very difficult. So if anyone can remember, Srila Prabhupada then quotes a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, which states the different processes and for different ages. Yeah. So this is 12.3.52. So it's a Kritiya Dayato Vishnam Tretayam Yajato Meke Dvapara Patrichayayam Kalutad Darikirtanat. So this verse is one that really puts things into perspective. It is that whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapara Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So it's mentioned that people in different ages, such as in Kali Yuga, or Satya Yuga, they lived for thousands of years. So it wasn't possible. But in our day and age, we're short-lived, and it's mentioned that. Thank you. So, Srila mentions that it's mentioned to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita that this process is recommended to him, but it's too difficult. So, Arjuna is an actual example. And if you can remember, what did Prabhupada say that Krishna called Arjuna, regardless of that? Okay. Yes. So even if that was too difficult, it says, it is not possible, don't be disappointed. And then a top first-class yogi. And then Srila Prabhupada quotes the verse from Bhagavad Gita 6:47. Of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and the highest of all, that is my opinion. So I goes on to mention that in this age, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended, and in the Shastra it's also recommended, Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam, Kalu nasti eva, nasteva, nastya eva, Adirana. So this is not just speculation, it's Sri Chaitanya has mentioned it, and it's also mentioned in the Shastra. And then Srila Prabhupada goes on to mention that verse from the Bhagavad Gita in terms of the other processes. It's, as he mentions verse 16:23, but he who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. So this is something as well which he mentions is we have to seek out a guru, and this is a guru as well who is actually living the Shastra. And then Srila Prabhupada mentions, if you can remember, then he speaks about the nature of this material world, and he mentions two words in relation to this. Yes. And what is Shreya and Preya? Yes. Yeah. Yes. So Shreya is actually in terms of like shelter, taking shelter in devotion, and prayer is sense gratification. Yes. And then Srila Prabhupada mentions in this material world that the central point of bondage and attachment is actually sex life. And he says the reason is because entanglement in family, grandchildren, and so on. And then he quotes a verse which states that basically it leads to one thing after another, such as house friends and so on. That is always has one entangled in that way. And then he mentions a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam and a specific line from that as well, if you can recall. Yes, Nate vidu svarta gatim hi Vishnum. So he talks about persons who are attached to the external energy, that this is actually like the blind leading the blind. So it's just around 8:30 now, so I'm not sure if anyone has any reflections or realizations that they'd like to share. Yes, Priyojanapu.
I was just thinking we can stay in class and get the knowledge, or we can go and have prasadam early and just rush down and get our breakfast quick. They're sort of a Shreya and prayer, aren't they, really, in a way?
Thank you.
It just occurred to me, it's a bit of a, I know I'm a bit wicked, really. Yes.
I think that's a nice reflection. Yeah.
Anyway, that's...
Yeah, so I hope you can answer this one, David Prabhu. I know you're elevated. The Maha Mantra Maha Mantra is recommended, highly recommended, and it's superb. But I also like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I don't know why. Okay, so it was never explained to me why sometimes we use it daily in the class, but we never chant it. It's not something that so recommended for us to chant. I wonder why. And the Maha Mantra and not Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, which is a very ancient mantra and very sublime. I find it anyway. I don't know if you can share something on that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know the exact references, but it's mentioned specifically the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in the scriptures, and in terms of actual the bona fide disciplic successions, the lines, and all the acharyas, and Srila Prabhupada has specifically given us the Maha Mantra to chant. So that's my understanding. That yes, Srinivasru.
I read his lecture by Kanama Kanama on the holy name, and his question was asked to him about there's other mantras like Sri Krishna Saranamamba and other mantras in other sampradayas. Why we stress the Maha Mantra? And he explained that our line is Gaudiya Vaishnava line, and we fall in line of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya is showing the mood, topmost devotee. The topmost devotee of Krishna is Radharani. So Lord Chaitanya has taken that mood of Radharani. He's taken a golden form. And he's showing us how we should approach Krishna in the mood of Radharani. So this is why the Maha Mantra is, that's why it's called a Maha Mantra.
Yes.
Because all the mantras are within this mantra. And it's showing the highest way how we can serve Krishna.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be praying to Radharani to approach Krishna.
I think in that sense we're known as Rupa Nugas,
Yeah.
and in that sense.
Hare Krishna. Just going back to Prayojana Prabhu's point. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he says that Bhakti Yoga, our process, is simultaneously Shreyas and Prayas because it's easy.
Yes.
So I think that Prasad is also Shreya.
Yes, it's a mercy. Yeah.
Govinda would come up with it, wouldn't he?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, David, for the facilitation.
Thank you.
Prabhu, I'm just trying to understand the connection between chanting and remembering the Supreme Lord. Because it's easy if one meditates on the Lord, remembrance and thinking of the Lord comes naturally. Or if one is worshipping the deity, remembrance may come naturally. So what is the connection between chanting the names, because that's the way to remember the Lord in this yuga. So what exactly is the connection between chanting and thinking of the Lord or remembering the Lord?
Well, in the the names are non-different in the Lord, but in the Bhagavad Gita as well, it's also mentioned in 15:15. Sarvasya Riddhi Sani Visto, and that from the Lord becomes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So the Lord, if He is pleased with us, by His mercy, we can remember Him from His inspiration within the heart. Yeah.
We're waiting for the Lord, for us to think of Him and remember Him while we're chanting.
Well, when we're chanting, we're naturally thinking of the Lord, but it's also that the Lord's mercy that we can actually remember Him and think of Him as well, because He can inspire us from within the heart.
See, the holy name is multi-dimensional in the sense that there's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, kind of already absorbed in the chanting of the holy name. So you just engage yourself in the process of chanting, and all these different attributes as different layers, they will naturally come. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. So it's the more and more you chant, the more and more Lord forms will reveal His qualities and in the end His pastimes, which are absorbed in the holy name. So you just chant and they unpack themselves naturally as a process.
And wouldn't it be easier to just directly meditate on the Lord rather than chant and then try to think of the Lord or remember the Lord or wait for His mercy for us to think of Him and remember Him?
But in my sense, that is direct meditation on the Lord. The mantra is direct meditation, in sense that it's non-different.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. What I understood, Prabhu, is when you're chanting, you're actually associating with the Lord. So the Maha Mantra, because it's Krishna Himself, you're associating with the Lord. And when you're with someone, then it's easy to remember Him. Of course, you're seeing Him, so you remember Him. But even after you've stopped chanting, the remembrance will stay. Sorry, this is what I understood. So.
Haribol, this is a question.
Yes.
Oh.
No, I think. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, before I asked the question, I just thought that I actually had a similar question to Prabhu's about why the chanting of the holy name is the highest process, because I think in Harinama Chintamani, Bhaktivedanta Thakur says that this is, it just is. I guess we have to accept that, at some point. The question is more that we say that we must elevate to the platform of goodness before we can go forth to Shuddha Sattva. But Arjun is a warrior and he is a kshatriya. He has to fight, he has to be in the mode of passion a lot of the times. A training of a kshatriya as they grow up is oftentimes also in that mode. So how do they come to the mode of goodness if you're by nature more in the mode of passion? Yeah. Anybody can share a thought if you had any thoughts. Oh, I will. Haribol.
I'll just give a quick comment as well. That definitely mode of goodness is one who is in mode of goodness is actually following the Shastric conjunctions, and that's a mode of goodness. And like Prajampu was mentioning, that there's different qualities and in terms of character by which the different modes manifest. So they can judge on that as well. but that's the whole system of Varnashram, is how to actually elevate one's consciousness, and ours is Devi Varnashram, which is Varnashram with devotional service as well, to elevate to the mode of goodness. Sorry. Just, Grant Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Shri Prabhupada Ki, all glories assemble devotees. Krishna.